Hey Mob. So this is part 2 of the Warrior Heart. In the first video, I shared a glimpse of what the Warrior Heart is, why it is needed in the world, and a little bit about my experience. In this video, I want to yarn with you about how the Warrior Heart has served other people, other women. And I want to share a little bit about my journey with you because I am the first Warrior Heart. I am a product of my own journey. The Warrior Heart isn't something that I've just plucked off of a shelf and pulled together. This is something that I live and breathe. This is something that is still an evolving concept, an evolving practice. And my calling, the ancestral calling and dreaming that has led to me wanting to share this with you and bring this into the world now, is that this will have capacity to meet women, particularly Indigenous people, or people who feel like they are called to be warrior hearts in themselves or in their own journeys at different stages of life, different seasons, different selves. For me, the warrior heart is standing in your power, be your truth, and follow your heart. Have you ever heard the saying, just be yourself in the world? Forget what other people think. People only have power over you if you give it to them. What about those intimate personal relationships? What about your social conditioning? What about the culture that you come from? And I needed to record this video on country because this is where I'm connected. This is where I speak truth to what it is. And so the 2 examples that I'm going to give you, the 2 tips and stories of how this works. Do you know what strength and power mean to you in your life right now? Do you know what your truth is right now? And are you connected to your heart? Do you speak to your heart? Do you allow your heart to speak to you? So in this video, I want to give you 2 examples of the warrior heart in action. And then I want to gift you a way that you can start the warrior heart practice in your own life. And that's it. It's a practice, it's a principle, it's a protocol, it's a value for how you can move through the world, how you can come back to your own power, your own strength, and your own heart. This is about a remembering. This is about a reckoning and a reclamation within your own internal world, first and foremost, because many of us do not speak truth to ourselves. Many of us are stuck by our own deficit narratives, by hiding from ourselves or victimizing ourselves to our circumstances, to our own capacity. This will require courage. It will require community. It will require strength. It will require resilience. But guess what? You don't need those things to begin. You just need a feeling or a calling or a compulsion that something needs to change, either in your world or within yourself. But guess what? The world around you won't change until you change within yourself. So here's how you can begin. Journaling. Just create space. Go to a sacred space for yourself, whether that's your bedroom, whether that's a spot on country, wherever you feel like you can quiet the world, you can quiet your mind, and you can just sit and be still. And ask yourself some questions like this. What is causing me pain right now? What is hurting me? What is hurting me about my own life, about myself, or about the world around me? What is speaking to me? What is hurting me? What have I been avoiding in my life? What have I been avoiding? So is there something, a conversation, a task, a change in your life that you know that if you made that change, it would make a significant difference? A challenge that you might have been avoiding. What have you been avoiding in your life that you knew if you addressed it, it could make a significant difference in your life and in your world? What has been calling you? What yearnings do you have? What desires do you have in your life that you haven't been acknowledging to yourself? Where have you been feeling called to go somewhere? Have you been feeling curious about something? And the 4th one, what lights you up? When you are somewhere or with someone, who or what lights you up? What just fills your cup, fills your spirit? And when you are in that space, doing that thing or with that person, or in that energy, it just makes you feel alive. It makes you feel connected. And the fifth one is, what would make you feel really alive and aligned right now? What do you feel is the greater, deeper meaning of your life? Do you feel like your life has a purpose and a meaning? And do you feel worthy of that life and of that meaning? So journaling is one that you can do. 2, a second thing that you can do is go and have conversations with people that you trust to be honest with you, and they hold you in love and respect in that honesty. And go and ask 1 to 3 people and go, hey, I'd just like to ask you some questions. Where do you think I haven't been showing up? What do you think is the greatest strength or gift that I bring to the world? And what is it about me that makes you want to keep this connection? Now, these can be really vulnerable questions, but the insight from people that you love and trust and that love and trust you can really help you get down to what is your power, what is your strength, and what is your heart telling you in this life. And sometimes others can see us in a way that we cannot see ourselves. They can hold us in a way that we cannot see ourselves. So if you do these things, the journaling and sitting in reflection, allowing the answers to come to you, or speaking to someone that you love and trust and that love and trust you, it can start to go help you define, what is power look like for me in this season? What could it look like in the next season? What is my truth right now? Where have I been avoiding myself? Where have I not been showing up in my life? Or how have I been showing up? And is how I'm showing up serving me? Is it setting me up for health and well-being? Is it setting me up for my heart to lead? Is it setting me up to create a life that sets me on fire? That when I wake up in the world, do I live in a world and do I live in a self where I feel like I can be myself? Where when I wake up in my own self, in my own world, I feel grounded in who I am. I know that my life has purpose and I feel ready for the day. It doesn't mean that the days and the moments have to be good or that you're not going through a hard season, but you are grounded in truth. You are grounded in the knowledge and the knowing and the practice that your life has meaning, it has purpose, and that what you may be going through, you are going to grow through, and that it is just a season or a moment. And one of the stories I want to share with you, the first story, is myself. I was born into the world with my parents being products of their own circumstances, and they loved me, but they weren't always able to give me what I needed because they were going through what they were going through. The world tried to write it, the colonial patriarchal world that I was born into tried to write a deficit narrative for me, that I was more likely to end up dead or pregnant or in a domestic violent relationship than I was to finish school or to become successful. I was only allowed to be this version of myself. I was told that I was too much or not enough. However, I had the courage to listen to my ancestors. I had the courage to heed their calling, that I was meant for something bigger, that my life had a purpose bigger than what I could ever imagine. And I was called to become the Barkindji warrior, the warrior heart. I have had to fight to be myself in the world. I'm still fighting to be myself in the world. I've had to redefine what power means. I've had to sit with my own truth, and I've had to have the courage to follow my own heart. This has led to me changing my whole life, speaking my truth to the world, breaking intergenerational traumas and strengths that I've said stop with me. Family violence, low socioeconomic status, trauma. And it also has been a reclamation and a remembering of my First Nations matriarchal culture and strength and power. Being holistic, being one with country, following my dreaming, being a brave enough and bold enough to be myself without apology. This is some of the outcomes of that have been 3 world titles in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Oh, by the way, I am a black belt female practitioner of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a martial arts that I've been practicing for 20 years. I'm an international athlete. I have founded 3 businesses. I'm the founder and Anishan of the Kilana Foundation, a First Nations women and youth empowerment, cultural reconnection and sovereignty, and life skills and leadership program based in regional Victoria. And this is just one story, is my own example of me showing up to be the warrior heart and what this has gifted me. Now, if you want to know more, click the link below, get in touch, send me a DM. We are holding events across 2025 of the warrior heart, and I would love you to join me. Reach out if you want to know more information. Big love you, mob.